how do you encourage students to equip themselves to embrace this AI era?
You know, the interesting thing about AI is the ability to ask questions that can be solved through the analysis of data. And good leaders ask the right questions, not the questions that everybody else is asking, the questions that you're asking in terms of achieving your strategic goals, your healthcare goals, and your organizational goals. So AI is a tool that any wise leader would use to improve how their organization performs. And leaders need to know how to use the tool. And so what we're trying to do in this degree is to provide you with the knowledge, the tools, and the techniques that will make you a value-added member of any organization. You know, AI is an inductive process, but leadership is more of an expansive. And so we have to do both. It's the yin and the yang that makes leaders and organizations effective. The ability to manage the tensions between what's known and what's not, what's the present and what's the future. And AI is a tool to do that. And we will teach you not only the tool, but how to apply it in a way that transforms organizations, that makes our healthcare institutions more patient-friendly and more employee-empowering.
So what do you think, what's the role and the responsibility for higher education to help, the students or the younger generation to facing this, global aging crisis?
I was having a conversation the other day with a colleague of mine saying, what's wrong with education in today's environment? And it took me back to when I was in graduate school and a professor at UC Irvine talked about the technology of foolishness. And he said, what we've done in our education institutions is to take the fun out of learning. He said, you ever watch a child play? I said, yeah, I've watched children play. They invent things. They see potential where all we see is blocks. What leaders do is find potential. And so educational institutions have to have students to be able to think not only on the basis of what we once knew, but what we don't know. And so if you're a student in this program, I'll tell you what, in my class, I'll tell you what to do. I would be asking you every day to write down, what is it that I learned? What surprised me? What can I use? And what don't I know? So we need to get people to think like children, to see the potential in things that ordinarily we say, that's just a bunch of blocks. So the technology of foolishness comes from really engaged learning. And we want students to be engaged in learning. We have telephones that can do more things than what a computer could do 5 years ago. How could that be? We're living in the future. We manage for the future. We have to educate people through the future, and we need to have an educational process that supports that. If you're really interested to get a degree in management, this program's not for you. But if you're interested in crafting a career that will take you where the future will take you, that's what this degree is all about.